Well, a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks?
Yeah.
That's the first question I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, Pierce.
Yeah.
Bullshit is that? No, you don't, sir. We don't lie about military service we didn't actually perform, like going to war. We don't steal valor by saying that we had a higher rank in the National Guard. And my husband said he looks like Elmer Fudd. That's what he looks like, Elmer Fudd.
Think about this for a second. Tim Walz suddenly finds himself trapped between two heavy hitters. On one side, you've got Megyn Kelly, sharp, precise, and able to take someone apart with calm, surgical accuracy. On the other, there's Tyrus, a verbal wrecking ball whose words land harder than most punches. Watching them team up feels less like an interview and more like two seasoned comedians roasting someone who thought they were walking into a friendly conversation.
Is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
He's fighting.
And well, this
I think Moshe there.
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as a hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to manhood. Can't pretend.
You'd be missing out if you skip this. Things are heating up, so hit like, subscribe, and buckle up. Tyrus doesn't just walk in, he storms in like a former wrestler spotting a feast and knowing exactly where he's headed. And his target isn't some nervous intern, it's the governor of Minnesota himself. Walz probably expected a routine day, crack a dad joke, cut a ribbon, shake a few hands. Instead, he's thrown straight into a verbal battlefield.
Who, just when you think no one's sitting at this table, neither she nor the big white blanket, can embarrass themselves any further, he does. She asked him, to her credit, about the carrying the weapons in war, which we know is a lie. He never served in war. He's been stealing valor for quite some time. And take a listen to this.
Said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of work.
You can almost hear Tim Walz's carefully crafted public image coming apart in real time. He's trying to walk the line between serious leader and small-town coach, the kind who cheers from the sidelines while juggling a clipboard. He sells himself as the everyday guy who somehow ended up running an entire state just trying to lend a hand. But under the pressure, that friendly image starts to crack.
He just snatches the bully's ass up.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. That's why I know if someone's below, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy.
But Tyrus didn't buy that image for a second. To him, it felt awkward and fake, like a substitute gym teacher who accidentally wandered into a budget meeting and just decided to stay. And Megyn Kelly wasn't there to play nice. She was sharp and precise, the scalpel to Tyrus's sledgehammer.
My grammar's not always correct, but again, if it's not this, it's in the back of my building for showing love for me, or it's a on my dog.
This took us. Let's go through it. You said you carried weapons in war, but you've never deployed in a war zone. Campaign official of yours said you misspoke. Did you? Well, I'm proud, incredibly proud of my record. He keeps doing this. Equally proud of my service in the class. Did I mention I was a teacher and a coach, an assistant coach? Okay, whatever. But he's more stolen valor. In the classroom, I'm in the classroom. My record speaks for itself. It doesn't, actually. You've put a lot of lies into that record that you've been.
By the end, Walz looked like someone bragging about acing a test, only to realize he barely passed. But this roast wasn't random. They treated him like a bland casserole everyone feels obligated to compliment. So who is this guy, really? Tim Walz has been a teacher, a football coach, and a politician. On paper, it sounds relatable, even sitcom ready.
That White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak, he can't speak, Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show, and I said this in the pod. He's a clown without a circus.
He doesn't even need makeup.
He's roaming the terrain. Is there some?
Everything went off the rails when the George Floyd protests put Minnesota in the global spotlight. It was Walz's moment to lead. Instead, he came across as hesitant and reactive. like someone slamming the brakes on a green light and flooring it at red. The result was a wave of political backlash. Then came education. Walz often presents himself as a compassionate teacher and mentor, but based on his policies,
campaign to try to do, and now you appear to be distancing yourself from that clarification. And then here's two pieces of this that are really, I speak like they do. People are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeves, and I speak especially passionately about, and then he goes on to blame it on the school shooting. I guess he was upset about school shooting, so he lied. But stop saying you speak like we do. I speak like...
Walz' man of the people image didn't survive Megyn Kelly. She pointed out that despite his claims to stand with working families, many of his decisions actually worked against them. Instead of throwing a life jacket, it looked more like a lifeguard tossing a concrete block. Tyrus and Megyn weren't just poking fun at regulations. They were ripping apart the entire brand.
I would be furious if I was him. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, I would, if they're like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like...
To his fans, he's kind and progressive. To his critics, that shine fades fast, like buying a luxury car that's always in the shop. And Walz isn't just a regional name anymore. Whispers about him on the national stage are growing, with some even floating his name as a potential vice presidential pick. That makes this roast feel less like a joke and more like a serious warning.
I watched him last night, and I thought he was amazing. He is a spectacular speaker. He had that rally in the palm of his hand. He's way more effective than she is or Joe Biden is. For the first time that I can remember, had like a feeling of fear rise up in my throat, because I know what he's permitting in Minnesota when it comes to children, which, we talk about one of the defining issues of our time is the way we treat our animals, our livestock, the way we kill them.
Tyrus argued that Walz couldn't even run a dodgeball game properly. Players running in circles, yelling, and dodging everything. Megyn added that Walz speaks with intensity, but acts inconsistently, offering reassurance while delivering confusion. After George Floyd, Minnesota needed steady leadership. Instead, what it got was uncertainty and mixed signals.
Answer my tweets, my DMs, like just one arm, and I just want to slap the He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were going to go after someone, man to man, hit him.
Walz tried so hard to please everyone that he ended up pleasing no one. He reassured one side while hesitating with the other. Businesses didn't know if they could stay afloat. Schools scrambled to keep up with constant changes. Policies flipped without warning. Even standards slipped for the former teacher who had promised quality education. And the so-called coach of the people? He couldn't even manage his own classroom.
There was Oliver Wendell Holmes, and you can. I don't believe you're a lawyer, Governor Walz. You can yell fire in a crowded theater, and you can say hateful things, because this is the United States of America, and it's right there in Amendment number 1. It's one of our favorites, was one of the founders' favorites, and was one of the founding principles upon which this country was built. There's no exception for speech Tim Walz or Kamala Harris magically deemed hateful. But they've been pushing this, both of them, and a lot of Democrats have, for quite some time. These young Democrats on college campuses say that they believe that the Constitution doesn't protect.
His record is weak for someone whose reputation was built on education. Megyn pointed out the irony perfectly. When your biggest selling point becomes your biggest weakness, it's a serious problem. Tyrus compared Walz to a movie trailer that promises action, but leaves viewers confused and disappointed.
And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, hey, Tim, you want a job? He would take it. Because that's what finalists... He would, and when he was questioned, he was like, I was just holding him in account. I respect him, and I'm so happy to be working for X. He is the worst player on their team, and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early, so...
There's more at play here than just one man. It's a glimpse into modern politics. Critics argue that Walz is all appearance and very little substance, perfect for commercials, but ineffective in a real crisis. His missteps exposed a system that prizes branding and catchy slogans over actual results.
Walz. Okay, Jen Psaki, she's a talking head, whatever. But Tim Walz was recently the vice presidential candidate on the Democratic ticket. Maybe you would expect a little better, a little higher in terms of the rhetoric. You would be disappointed. Here is Sat.
And you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know.
Look at him. So chipper. Don't worry, there will be news. In other words, Trump will die.
For a moment, you might almost feel sorry for him. Then reality hits. He's a state governor, and his decisions affect millions. That's what makes the humor so sharp. The stakes are real. Will he bounce back, or will he be remembered as just another overhyped leader who couldn't deliver?
Coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I won't now, Tyrus.
Yeah, he's and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes. It's the
Critics are quick to point out his vagueness, inconsistent messaging, and long-winded speeches that rarely matched reality. When a leader hesitates this often, projecting confidence becomes nearly impossible. As Walz gained national attention, he became a prime example of what happens when branding outweighs substance. Up close, the facade crumbled fast. It looked polished in ads, which is exactly why its collapse felt so dramatic.